1. All right, welcome back to the Mad Monk Podcast. My name is Aaron.
My name is Chris.
And today we've spent the last 30 or so minutes just talking off mic just about life and in general. And this
was excellent.
So yeah, this is my encouragement to you. So me and Chris have known each other. We've talked about this thing previously. We've known each other for a long time.
Yep.
I think it's because you were with the district as an IT person when I started.
Yeah.
So 8 years.
Yeah.
This is our 8th year of
Holy crap.
knowing each other and everything. So what I want to encourage you listeners out there, and I know this is probably something that is probably just you might go, well, that's how you do things. But have people that you spend regular or irregular time with, like me and Chris. We sit down every other week, and before we usually record, we spend some time chatting and talking about life and catching up. And it's important, I think, that
it's very fun.
It is.
I enjoy it.
And I think it's that give and take. Like Chris shared some stuff about his life and what's going on with him, and I talk about my stuff, and we have a shared conversation, a shared experience. I think that's important, especially for Christians. Not especially, but absolutely for Christians that you don't live in isolation.
Yeah.
That you live in community, that you have people that you meet with and that sharpen you and that challenge you and that encourage you and offer to help you and that you offer to help. Like the relationship is not conditional. The relationship is engaging.
Exactly.
And it's important. Speaking of that dynamic,
here we go.
What is our topic for today?
Let me go look and find out. Dealing with people on
dealing with the people.
Yeah, day to day as a Christian. So this is a hard topic because if it shouldn't vary, but it does.
Right.
Like you would think us being Christians, we're going to treat everybody the same, but we don't. Mm-hmm. So like this week I had some issues at work, a lot of them actually, and it dealt with people.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, Lord, let me just destroy them. Just take them out, Lord. Just take them out.
Right.
But He ain't going to do that.
Right.
He's not going to do that.
That's not how God works.
No,
that's not how our relationship with God is.
It is not. No. And so I had to repent of what I'd said and what I thought, because I thought some pretty bad stuff. And
you were going into the Old Testament.
I was Old Testament, man. Old Testament.
Where's the fire, God? Why aren't you bringing it down upon them?
Bring down some salt too.
Right.
So it was sort of like, I mean, I was kind of trapped in this.
Yeah.
I have this issue where I found that if I get trapped in a mindset, it's hard for me to pull myself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And like a Debbie Downer kind of thing.
Yeah.
And when you're around people that are like that all the time, it is hard to get out of it. Now I can, but it is difficult.
Yeah.
And I have to like take a step off by myself and say, okay, Lord, you need to help me.
Yeah.
Like I'll go in the server room and pray sometimes because I have to.
Right.
So I mean it's and I find that
just you and Skynet together.
You
and Skynet.
Me and Skynet.
You praying for the future of humanity. Skynet plotting the death of humanity.
Oh, yes.
That's a lovely image.
I bet those servers are plotting against me right now, those suckers. So, yeah, I mean, it's sort of one of those things where I find myself like if I don't stay in God's word and I don't pray every day, which I do every day anyway, but I find that I used to not.
Yeah.
And so I don't drink alcohol anymore because I found that when I'm drinking, my brain's not as clear as it. Like it's clear most of the time, but when I drink, it's not clear.
Yeah.
And so I just said, you know what, Lord, I'm not gonna touch that anymore because it is not becoming of me. It doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I enjoy one every now and again, but I find at this point, it affects my mind, and that's the mind is what makes me money.
Right. Well, and there's been a lot of conversation with young adults specifically, but there's been a lot more conversation about sober culture.
Yeah.
And how a lot of young adults who are coming out of their college years or in their college years or post-college years or in whatever, and there's this like and God love them. They're young and they don't know things because their world is small. But they're discovering, quote unquote, the sober culture. Like, sobriety. That's where it's at. And it's like, well,
we can do that.
Where you? Yeah, we've been doing this for hundreds of years.
Yeah,
it's a thing,
yeah,
and especially in the last 100 years, I would say sobriety has really been something people have been like with Alcoholics Anonymous and all the groups and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I have a friend, I think I've talked about her before, like she was regularly doing marijuana, she would go out and drink and stuff like that. And she had a moment where she just kind of was like, and so she stopped. Part of it was financial. She didn't have the money anymore to buy her marijuana or drink. And I don't know the cost of. I don't know the cost of weed.
I don't either. I've never even.
Let's
tried
put our credentials out there on the table right now.
Never even tried it.
I don't know what it would cost.
Nope.
I'm guessing it would not be cheap.
Yep.
And a weekly habit would probably be expensive.
It would.
And so my friend discovered that like because she didn't have the money for it anymore, she couldn't buy it obviously, so she stopped. And it was an accidental, almost kind of intentional discovery, a little both, where she was like, my mind was suddenly a lot clearer. I was sleeping better. I was actually able to function and work better.
Yeah.
And that she even stopped like doing her drinking every so often. She said it is an incredible experience when you go sober because your mind is clear.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to put our licenses or whatever, our detail or what, I'm not sure what the word is, our bona fides on the table. I have never been drunk. I did not drink before my 21st birthday.
Neither have I.
I have never drunk. I've had one, like at dinner once at a restaurant, I might have had a half a drink. I've never gone full tilt into it. But I am also a control freak.
Yeah.
So I absolutely, in everything I do, in every moment of my life, I am absolutely striving for control.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where this comes from.
That's how you are, yeah.
I don't know why. I think it's because I know why. I have seen friends in the past, many years ago when we were younger and high school kids or after high school kids, whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen what a drunk person looks like.
Oh, it's horrible, man.
And
I don't like it.
It was to watch my friends be stumbling drunk.
Yeah.
Was just, it was equal parts embarrassing for me to like, I shared it. I had embarrassment for them.
Yeah.
But I was also embarrassed. Like, this is what this looks like. I mean, it's funny for a minute, like, oh, ha, ha, ha. But then it's like, oh God, this is bad. What is wrong with you?
It looks horrible.
And it's not fun because eventually then you have hangovers and you have the effects of that stuff. And I've seen that in life and I go, I don't want to lose control like that.
Yep.
I am accountable for what I say and do.
Facts.
I don't want to lose control and no longer be able to account for that behavior.
Exactly right. I'm the same way.
I do not want people to be like, oh, hey, that Aaron, he got drunk that day and oh man, it was wild. He did things I would never thought of. And I'm like, I don't want that to be said about me.
Yeah.
I don't want that. Even if it's like the once, I don't want that. I think it's because I've seen so much in my life of friends who and it's like, I don't want that. I can't have that.
Yeah.
And that need for control has extended to like when I'm driving, like I am checking my mirrors. I am in control at all times. Even in like conversations with people, like I am constantly like, okay, have a good response. Think of how to respond. Like how do I exude my Jesus, if you will?
I'm the exact same way. Exactly the same.
So we talk about how to treat others, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
facts.
I won't be in an alternate state because I don't. We talked about this before. Like I think I'm not sure which episode, but I remember us talking about it. We are the image bearers of Christ. Like we are the servants. We are.
That was a few episodes ago.
Yeah, we are in place of Christ. We are his messengers. We are his people.
Yep.
And if our behavior is not Christ-like in all that we do, in every part of us, we're not perfect, so we're going to mess up.
Facts. Yeah.
But if we're not claiming Christ in everything that we do, then we're not living our life to him.
Ooh,
and that's
a valid point.
And so it's really important for me that, like, there are plenty of people in my life that I have not liked and I have absolutely hated.
Oh, me too.
I've been in a position where I could have sold them out or I could have, gaslit about them or gossiped about them.
Yep.
And I've tried to just be like, you know what? Look, I don't like this person, but hey, they've got their things, they've got their stuff. I'm going to let them be, and I'm going to just I'm not going to let them live rent free in my head. I'm going to move on. And if an opportunity comes for me to speak Christ into their life, or to bring them some kind of whatever salvation, I'll do it. I'm happy to do it. But I've had to fight that urge to fire back or to take revenge or whatever, because it's not Christ-like. It's not the way of Christ.
Yep.
And so when we talk about how we treat others and how do we handle difficult people, I think this is the beginning of that conversation of, as a Christian, if you don't understand how Christ would handle people, you need to read your Bible again.
Ooh,
and I think that's
point.
And we talked about Christ as a Pez dispenser. I think that's the other issue is that, people are like, oh, well, Christ said to be good to these group of people. It's like, yeah, but Christ also doesn't believe in abortion. So let's have that conversation. So, so we start from here. We start from that point of like we
can't choose to do
right.
What
you can't
we want.
choose what parts of Christ we want to be and we want to show to the world.
All of it or nothing.
It's an all or nothing game. So when we talk about how to handle people and how to deal with difficult people and how to treat others, it's not an easy life to live.
It's very hard
because
oh my goodness.
We are taught and we are told and we are given the instruction to live your life for others as Christ lived for us. And that's life and death.
That is.
So Christ died for our sins, right?
Yeah.
We should be willing to do the same for others in our lives.
We should.
Because that's what Christ did for us.
He was selfless, man. Selfless.
Absolutely. So we talk about the world, the culture today is really selfish. It's really narcissistic. It's wackadoo. It's wackadoo. But I think if we could get people to see not just the parts of Christ that they like or that they use for politics or they use for whatever, for their brand, but if we get people to see, okay, this is Christ in all, live that life, the world would be a lot better place. Like, so if we were to go through, so there's some verses that I did some Google work because we hadn't really come up with any verses today.
Yeah, I'm struggling to come up with ideas here.
It's lately. Okay, we're getting there. With this podcast is not don't take this podcast as a job, Chris.
Yeah,
you're not getting paid. we hang out and we talk in my basement.
But are we though?
Okay,
we're getting paid in Jesus money.
Oh Lord.
See, for me, it's more
word of faith, prosperity gospel, prosperity gospel.
No, let's not do that. Holy
blasphemy!
That's bad.
But no, I mean you're right. Yeah, we are like there is that idea of you are bringing God glory. And you're
exactly
bringing God. You're bringing Him honor in all that we do, and that
means more to me than anything.
Yeah, and people don't understand that because, again, we live in a narcissistic society.
Oh, we do.
Very much so in 2025.
It's bad.
Main character syndrome, all of this stuff. What you do and how you do should always, always, always be in reflection of Christ and bring Him glory and bring Him honor and bring Him praise and bring people to Him through your words, actions, and all those things.
I'm not always successful at that.
No, and I think that's the thing we should be very mindful of is that we're imperfect. So a lot of our conversation today about what was going on with you at work and stuff like that and how your responses and things like you're like, okay, well that...
Probably shouldn't have done that.
Probably shouldn't have done that. And, what we learn and we go, okay, I need to figure out a way to do this. Even if I don't like this moment or this thing, I need to figure out how to be more Christ-like in my response and how I handle it. Now, here's the thing. I will tell you, we are human, so we are broken.
We are.
I tell this to my students. I tell this to anybody I encounter because I've learned this. And I credit my current school that I teach at for this. We do a lot of social emotional learning. And the thing I say, your emotions aren't wrong. Because here's the thing, your emotions will tell you something. Your emotions are going to give you information. Okay, if you're mad, if you're angry, if you're scared, those emotions are real and should not be ignored. Don't ever shunt your emotions off, because if you start to ignore your emotions and your reaction to somebody, you end up becoming a victim of being a doormat or whatever. So don't ignore your emotions. But the key is what you do with those emotions. That will carry the day.
That's true.
And we talk about Christ and how we want to, how are we going to use those emotions in a Christ-like fashion to show the world what Christ would do. Now, mind you, Christ did get angry. He flipped a couple of tables in the temple because they were money lending in his temple.
Suckers.
Yeah, that was a really bad choice for them.
Yeah, it was.
But here's the thing: people overplay that too. They're like, "Oh, well, Christ got angry." Yeah, it was they were
his father's house.
Like they were blaspheming in the house of the holy God Himself. Like, yeah, He got angry because that was His point. But people will take that and be like, "Well, then everybody, your anger's not wrong." It's like, okay, your feeling isn't wrong. What you do with that anger and how you display that anger. That's the difference maker.
That's the sin right there, bro.
Yeah. So if someone's doing something wrong and hurting someone, get angry, self-defense, get into it. But if someone's just being a jerk to your face and mouthing off, that doesn't give you the right to be angry and punch the dude in the face.
Yeah.
That's not how Christ works. That's not what Christ says.
He said to turn the other cheek.
Yeah. So let's do some verses here. I've got a bunch of them that I've got ready to go. So here's, let's see. Yeah, here we go. So 1 Peter 3:8 to 12. This is ESV, so I could look up NIV, but if we need to, we'll look at the translation if we need to. But 1 Peter 3:8 through 12. Finally, all of you have unity of mind, sympathy, brotherly love, a tender heart, and a humble mind. Do not repay evil for evil or reviling for reviling, but on the contrary, bless, for this to you were to this you were called, that you may obtain a blessing. For whoever desires to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit. Let him turn away from evil and do good. Let him seek peace and pursue it. For the eyes of the Lord are on the righteous, and his ears are open to their prayer. But the face of the Lord is against those who do evil. So there's a lot there, right?
Yeah.
But do not repay evil for evil or reviling for reviling. Yeah. So if someone's gossiping about you, if someone's doing something bad, something hot, like, don't repay that evil with evil.
Yeah.
Don't turn around and be like, "Oh, well, you're talking crap about me. I'm going to talk crap about you right back, and I'm going to get my revenge on you." That's not Christ.
No.
Christ has been like, "What are you doing? Come here. Time for a come to Jesus meeting."
There you go. Yeah, he would do that.
Right, it would be an absolutely come to Jesus meeting.
Yeah, it would.
So we are called to something better, something the high road, if you want to call it.
Yeah.
He says, "For whoever desires to love life and see good days, let him keep his tongue from evil and his lips from speaking deceit."
That's hard.
Right. Let him turn away from evil and do good. Let him seek peace. That is one of my favorite things. So I have a former student. She graduated early last year, or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And she got out of this town. She needed to leave. I think I've talked about it a little bit.
Yep.
She had to get out of town. And her word in her final year that she was at the alternative school that she was going to here in Morgan was peace, because all the drama, all the crap that was going on was dragging her down.
Yeah.
And she's like, "I need peace. I need to have that peace in my life."
Yep.
And so she worked on it. And then when she moved out to Oklahoma, I think, she talked about how it was like a breath of fresh air. Her life was so much better. She wasn't working for others. She wasn't trying to please others.
Yeah.
She was doing her job. She was seeking, she was doing the things that she needed to do without having to worry about what people would think about her, or what they would say about her, because she was out of this town. Now, there are people who've stayed in Morgan, and I'm not saying you have to leave or you have to stay. That's a personal choice.
It is a choice, yep.
But for her and her situation, she had to leave. She had only lived in Fort Morgan all her life. She'd been here since the beginning. She needed to go. Yeah. And so she found,
that's fine.
And she's happy where she's at.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it, is like, you need to not buy into the games. And that's when we talk about how we treat people.
Yeah.
Don't get pulled into the ring.
Because there's plenty of negativity.
Yeah.
There's plenty of that.
Oh, yeah. And when people, people talk about, like, "Oh, people are naturally good or naturally bad." People are naturally bad. Like, we are broken.
Horrible.
We are broken.
Yeah.
So, like, you're like, "Oh, well, no, everyone's naturally good. They just get taught bad." I'm like, no. If you've ever seen a toddler, and their default without instruction is terror, they are chaos machines.
They are chaos machines.
They don't care. You have to instruct them in the ways of how they should live and how they should treat people. That's why you have to say, what do you say? "Oh, I say please." "Oh, please." "What's the magic word?" "Please." "What do you say when someone gives you something?" "Oh, thank you." You have to teach that. They don't be like they don't naturally. They're like, give me the lollipop, and they run away. Okay, well,
that's what they'll do.
Right? They're feral children, and our job as parents or community is to teach them how to not be feral.
That's so good.
It's true though. Toddlers are feral.
It is.
They're lovely and they're adorable, but they need constant reminders of how to act. You like think about this would be an experiment that would go horrifyingly wrong, and it would not be allowed. It would legally be and scientifically and integrally, and it would be awful. But if you were to take a toddler and you were to give that child no instruction on how to live life, you were to feed them, you were to clothe them, you were to maybe potty train them at some point or not, you would have a monster.
Yeah, you would an absolute terror.
Yeah,
they would be horrible.
They would have no boundaries. They would have no rules. They would have no manners. They would have no anything. Yep. They would just naturally become cool. No one's telling me what to do. No one's training me in the ways of how to act like a human being. Yep. So I'm going to be feral and
bite your arm off.
I was going to say they'd be a biter. They'd absolutely be a biter.
They would bite
because you have to teach children not to bite out of frustration.
Yep.
That's why like in preschool it's like no, we don't bite. That's not how we do things.
I bit my boys back. They bit me once. I bit them back. They never did it again.
They're like, oh, that doesn't work.
Yeah,
it
let's
doesn't
not
work.
do that.
Yeah, that's not how that works. So we talk about dealing with other people. You have to start. The base is Christ.
Exactly. You're exactly right. There's
no like, oh, well, no. If you want to talk about how we handle challenging people or handle people who are pushing our buttons or people who just stress us out or make us tired or whatever, you have to start with Christ at the center. That's the only way you get through this.
And it's hard to do that. It's very difficult.
Yeah.
It's very hard, especially when you're in the moment and your temper's flared and things are heated. Oh, it's so difficult, man, to pull yourself out of that.
Ephesians 4:32, be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you.
Yep.
Now, people are like, oh, cool, like we forgive. Like, no. Here you have to focus in on the second part of that, which is God in Christ forgave you through the sacrifice of His only Son.
That's exactly right.
Yep. The crucifix. So I feel this is not because I don't. It's not a. There's no basis in fact here. I feel like we gloss over the crucifixion a lot in Christianity.
We do. Yep.
The brutality of the crucifixion is the suffering and the pain. Those 9-inch nails. Look at your hand. If you're listening to this podcast, look at your hand. 9 inches long nail, right, going into the center of your palm.
That would suck.
Think about how much that would hurt, because it's not just like there's that your palm. It's not soft tissue. It's bone. All those bones on your fingers run through your palm.
They're moving out of the way.
They are now shattered or like that. Who knows? Because, again, we're not dealing with modern medicine here. We're dealing with
old school.
Old school. So you look at your hands and think about that being pierced. Not gently like, here comes a nail. Here comes a boom. And and then that you are hanging.
That makes it even worse.
Not only that, so you've got both of your hands on the cross, and then you've got the nails through your ankles as they are like crossed. And so it's the 9-inch nail is holding your legs together at the bottom of the cross. And so the biggest thing that happens with crucifixion is you don't die by that. You die by suffocation because you're not able
asphyxiation
to keep your body eventually will suffocate itself because your posture destroys you. So when we talk about how God, the part of God in Christ forgave you, think about that moment. And in my belief, my theological stance is that we talk about Christ having God's presence. God was with him. They were God in 3 persons, whatever.
Yep.
There's a moment on the cross where Christ says, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me?
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of different ideas on what happens here. Partially because obviously he got Jesus. I mean, Jesus knew, but there's the human part of Jesus, which, in my opinion, my theological perspective, and I could be wrong, and I don't know I haven't taken a stand on this yet. I'm close to taking a stand. But in that moment when he says, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? I have posited, and others have, that's when God's presence left him.
Because he says he turned his back on his because of the sin.
Right. So he left the power, I don't want to say the power, but the presence and the comfort of God and the Holy Spirit left.
Yep.
And Jesus was now in that moment. Again, it's a perspective, it's an opinion, it's not.
We don't know.
We don't have a fact on this, but we're gonna posit this.
Makes sense though.
That now Jesus Christ was alone on that cross in those final moments.
Yeah.
And that death, because of that loss of protection, that loss of presence, Christ died on the cross for us. In his humanity, he died.
Because he had to give his life.
His life was not his own.
It wasn't.
It had,
and he knew that.
He definitely knew that. And there's moments in the Bible in the gospel where Jesus, I think it was the Garden of Gethsemane, where he asks God, he's like, if there's any other way that this can happen, to be taken from me, may it be so. And God's like, nope, that's the way it's got to be. So even Jesus was questioning, okay, is there any other way that we can do this?
Yeah.
Because he knew. Obviously, he's all-knowing. He knows what's coming.
He does.
But he doesn't.
Please let there be another way.
Please let there be another way. But he's like, this is the only way. It's like, okay, game on, let's go.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about,
That's
as in
insane.
God in Christ forgave you, that forgiveness was not just like, okay, cool, I signed a piece of paper and you're forgiven.
Yeah.
It's no, there is blood on that paper. The suffering of our Savior on the cross. So when we talk about like be kind to one another, tenderhearted, and forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you,
Yeah.
that's the intensity of what they talk about when it comes about forgiving
Yeah.
and loving.
It has to be that way.
Right. Because
has to
if
be.
it wasn't, it would just be something you just do. Okay, cool.
Anybody can say, "Oh yeah, I forgive you."
Yeah, I forgive you. But when you realize what they're talking about in Ephesians of Christ died for you, my forgiveness of you is in the same spirit. It's that serious, but it's that also visceral of I will do this because my God forgave me, and
Yeah.
I must forgive you because why would I not live that life in the way that my Father and my God had told me to live?
Yeah.
It would be hypocritical of the highest degree to not go, I'm letting this go. I forgive you. I'm wiping the slate clean. So in treating others and how to deal with others, you eventually, if someone's wronged you, you have to find a way to being tenderhearted, forgiving one another, but forgiving one another in the manner of Christ forgiving us through his sacrifice of his son.
Difficult.
It is. It's so.
Man,
It's one of those things where it's like easier said than done, right?
Yeah.
Like you could be like, okay, cool, we got it, we're done, we forgave, but it's so much harder. So I don't know if I've told this story, but in middle school is rough for everybody. But we had a bunch of friends. We were all we were nerds, and
that makes it 10 times worse.
yeah, and we were good, but so this student. I won't say his name. Even it's been like 20 years now.
Yeah.
More than 20 years. Oh boy, it's been 27 years.
Holy crap.
I'm old now.
Me too. It's even been longer than that for me.
So this would be 27 years ago, and I remember this as vividly as if it happened yesterday. We were all hanging out, and this kid came in to school. He was a new kid, and I think he started talking to our friends, but he basically took our friends from us. So he sat at the table, and we didn't really like him. I think one of our friends had a bad experience with him in 5th grade or something. And so he came in and started just taking over our friends. And the 2 or 3 of us who did not like him and were like, okay, he's a little slimy, like we're not sure. We got bounced from that friend group.
Darn.
And I'm 11, 12 years old, maybe tops.
That changes your
13 years
outlook.
old. Like, what is happening? And so I held that against him because he destroyed our friend group. He took it apart, and we got through all of middle school. I don't remember what happened after that, if we got back together with those friends or what happened with that. But in high school, I think it was my freshman year was whatever. But then like sophomore year, I heard he was coming to our school. Like they're like, oh yeah, this guy's coming. He's transferring in.
No.
And I was like, oh, mother of pearl. And so because I had been holding it against him for all those years.
That's crazy.
And so I walked up to him and I said, you know what? I need to just tell you something. I said, I forgive you for what you did in middle school. And I'm past it. And we don't have to be friends. We don't have to talk ever again. But I needed to unload that. I needed to let you know that I forgive you. Now, I don't remember what he said or what his reaction was because it's been, again, 20 plus years.
20-some years. Yeah.
But it was important enough for me to do that because
Yep.
I recognized that if I saw him in the hallway, I was going to mean mug him. I was going to be, all those feelings would still be there.
They're there, yeah.
And so I needed to let go. I needed to be like, you know what? I need to let this go.
Yep.
Now, he never came in, like I was a theater kid. We were in the theater nerd group. He never entered that group. He never joined that group. He was in a different friend group at that point. Whatever. So it was just one of those things where you learn that you can't carry that. You can't carry it. Like, it's not worth it.
Uh-huh.
And so you have to let go. You have to forgive and let that be gone.
Okay.
Now, I will never tell you to forget, because there are people in my life who have hurt me and have harmed me, and their behaviors were not something I want to repeat.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't forget what they did to me. I remember that, because if that ever situation comes around again, or I have a similar experience, I know, nope, don't want to deal with you.
Done.
You are a dangerous problem. You're a dangerous issue. You are going to cause me harm in the same way. I am not going to engage with you. I'm holding my boundary. I am holding my peace.
You stay over there.
You stay over there. I'll
Yeah.
stay over here. We
Yep.
won't play in the same end of the pool. Like, that's fine.
Yep.
But so you can't forget. And I don't think Christ would ever tell you, forget the harm done to you and then just keep getting taken advantage of.
Yeah.
That's not the Christ message.
No.
The Christ message is forgiveness is important, but don't let people take advantage of you. Don't let them pull you into more
Yep.
anger and sinful behavior and stuff like that, because that's just not how Christ works. That's not how any of it works. So yeah. But the crux of your question today was, how do you handle challenging people?
Oh, darn.
Oh, my mic. So
Y'all missed that.
This is so the.
Is it the stand?
Yeah, it's not the right stand. So there's supposed to be another one but it's also how I don't think it's secure enough, so it has a habit of falling out because I keep messing with it. Anyway.
That was interesting.
Yeah, it happened yesterday in the other podcast that I recorded. And I was just like, it happened like twice. I got to figure out how to make this work. Anyway, my studio is still in construction, even though it feels like it's finished. It
does feel like it's finished.
It's always under construction all the time. So the point of today's podcast was, how do you deal with challenging people?
Yeah.
The conversation we've had is how to treat others, and I think those conversations run parallel.
Yep.
They're not different conversations. But I guess in the moment when you're dealing with a challenging person or a challenging, stressful situation, and so this is like, scientifically this has been proven, and obviously they've done studies about it. But when you get stressed, or you have or things are getting tense, and you get emotional, your brain retreats to what I call, and what others have called, the lizard brain. So your brain is a big old ball, right?
Yep.
And so the outside parts of that brain is all your rational thinking, your logic, okay, I need to take a moment to breathe and think about this. And then when the blood goes away from that and focuses on your center brain, that is your fight or flight mechanism that kicks into play.
Yeah, that's what happens to me.
Yeah, so you get, and so you're not making rational decisions because you're rushing to conclusions quickly.
Yep.
And because
I'm assuming.
Right, you're jumping, you're assuming what's happening.
Yep.
You could go into science and go all the way back to how humans instinctually, that's what we are, because there were times, thousands and thousands and millions of years ago or whatever, where you had to your lizard brain had to kick into action. Oh my gosh, there's a saber-toothed tiger on the hill above me.
Holy crap.
What do I do? Oh, I wonder when I'll have to. No, your brain.
Let's take off running.
Shunk, whoosh, fight or flight, man. You're running.
Yeah.
And so when you have those moments where you experience that, that's what that is. That's your fight or flight mechanism.
Yep.
And so for us, as we deal with people and deal with situations, as Christians, the question is, how do we fight that? How do we fight that lizard brain?
You have to fight it. It is hard, man.
Well, and there's a lot of coping mechanisms, right? If you want to take a breath, and you have to train yourself before you fly off the handle. I've had friends in my life who I've had to be like, okay, that is the emotions driving you.
Yep.
The bus is now no longer under your control, and you are driving us towards a cliff.
Take a step back, bro.
We need it. And so I know, like, a traditional thing, people are like, oh, you need to stay calm. Well, you never tell someone to stay calm when they're freaking out. What I've learned...
Just calm down.
Just calm down. What do you want?
Tell your wife that.
Yeah, that's that. You're on your own then.
Yeah, I'm not. We're not helping you with
God
that
be
one.
with you, because he's the only one who can help you now. So I often will do, okay, hey, let's take a breath.
Yep. You have to.
Well, it comes, so not to be all corny and whatever, but in the high school that I teach at, we are an alternative education campus, and we teach kids social emotional stuff because
You'll do great work too.
They need to learn that because they don't know.
They don't
and
know.
Not a lot of people have taught
Yeah.
a lot of them about it. Some of them have come to us and they've been taught and instructed and they've been working through it.
Yeah.
But sometimes for whatever reason, kids just don't know. And so part of what we talk about is like, okay, breathe. Or, hey, look at 3 things in the room and identify them. Okay, so I'm sitting here and I'm like, okay, I've got an Audrey Hepburn portrait there. I've got a Shure microphone there. And I've got a studio light over there.
Takes your mind
off what you're panicking or freaking out. And so you release that pressure because you're pulling that energy out of your spinning up and you're slowing that spinning down. There's also like, okay, hey, look at me, breathe in,
like focus on it,
out.
dude.
And you never do like, hey, we need to calm down. You say, okay, hey, let's walk through this. Stick with me, stay with me.
Yeah.
Hey, put your hands down at your side, put your shoulders up, drop your shoulders down. Like there are ways to do and interrupt that flow. And sometimes you just do it to yourself. You'd be like, okay, whoa, I'm spinning. And that may be where you turn when that happening to the person. You go, hey, look, this is not going to go well. I need to take a step back.
I need to go away.
I need to go away for a minute. Let me think about my response before I say something wrong or inappropriate or hurtful.
Yep.
Because I don't want to do that. I need to pull back and I need to take a moment. It won't be long, but I just need to take a moment to reset. We will have this conversation in a second. And sometimes that's good. Sometimes that helps because then you're able to release the pressure and the moment is broken and they will. You don't have to. You should probably never tell a coworker or someone you work with. Be like, let's breathe in and out. No. They'll be like, what? You just give them their. You break the connection and you give them their time to step away. Well, you step away and you go.
I might come at you with a stapler.
Right.
It's possible.
My red Stingray stapler. They told me that I could have my red Stingray stapler and play music at a moderate volume, and then I'm gonna burn the place down. If you don't know what that is from Office Space, it's my favorite character in the entire world.
Yeah.
Milton, I think, is his name, and that's a movie we could talk about someday. They don't treat Milton right. They eventually put him in like the basement of the building.
Oh yeah,
and he's like the light off, and they turn the light off on me. That's the last straw. Burn the place down, and he does burn the place down.
He does,
and he ends up on the beaches of some Caribbean country, and he's like, but this was supposed to be you're supposed to have a martini drink, and whatever. So it's fantastic. Anyway, that's a side travel. But my point is that we have to figure out we just have to take a step back.
Yeah.
And that allows them, if they have the coping mechanisms, to breathe. And sometimes that's all it takes. So when you're going at it with somebody, or it's ratcheting up, like there's no release. Like things are just escalating slowly but surely. You have to go, okay, this is not going to be Christ. What I'm going to say here in a second. And you maybe I don't know if you say that, but you just say, hey, let's hold. Let me step back. Let me breathe for a minute. Let me get you a proper response. I'm going to respond to you respectfully and with integrity and dignity. This is not, whatever I'm going to say next is not going to be it. And you separate yourself, you pull yourself back, you give yourself a minute or two, and then you go, okay, I think I know what we need to talk about. Let's do this.
Yep.
Because that's how you handle people. You don't handle people by yelling at them or ratcheting up and letting your lizard brain take control, because your lizard brain is not your Jesus brain.
No, it's not. It's your human brain.
It's your human brain. It's your broken brain. It's your broken humanity on display. So it's just one of those things where you have to control yourself. You have to know what your triggers are.
Yeah.
And we talk about this. It's weird we're having this conversation because this is what we talk about in our high school program with social emotional learning.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Our counselor Zoe, our former counselor Zoe, she did a lot of this work.
Zoe.
She's fantastic. That was a big thing. It's like, okay, know your triggers and know who's in, and even I think our principal has talked about know who's in control of your bus.
Yeah.
And she talks about and she says, she's told students, and I repeated this and I believe it, your attitude controls your behavior.
Oh, it absolutely does.
So whatever attitude gets on your behavior bus, that's what you're going to behave.
You're going to drive it right off a cliff.
Right off a cliff or right into somebody else or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's always a matter of what is our attitude? Is our attitude at all times, as much as possible, because again, we're imperfect, is it Christ-like?
Yeah.
Because if your attitude is Christ-like in every which way possible, your behavior will reflect him in every way possible.
It will.
And people will figure
absolutely will. Yeah.
People will figure it out. They'll be like, man, he's kind of nice. Like, wow, he's compassionate, or he doesn't fly off the handle. He listens. He takes a moment. Oh, I know if I talk to him, I'm not going to get beat up. If I bring something to him, it's not going to be a judgmental conversation.
Yeah.
Or if I have a conflict with him, I know that he's gonna handle it well, and I know that I'll walk away with something. I'll walk away with a compromise, or I'll walk away with something. So it's all about letting Christ's attitude drive your behavior bus. It sounds elementary, it sounds middle school, it sounds high school, but that's where it starts.
Fundamental.
It's fundamental, right? So,
I have a story too.
Okay.
So my brother was one of the people that I hated the most.
Yeah.
Just to be honest with you, I mean, he don't get me wrong. I mean, I said that I loved him, but every word that I said didn't pan out.
Yeah.
So like me and him, we fought a lot. Like, I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
And we disagreed on pretty much everything. Jesus being the main one we disagreed on.
Right.
And I remember him one time we were in this argument about something stupid.
Right.
And my brother's no longer, he hasn't been here for over 10 years now.
Right.
He's dead now. But we got in this argument about something stupid.
Right.
And I was telling him about Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Because I did a lot. And what I didn't understand was that at the time was that my actions and my attitude toward him didn't reflect what I was saying.
Yeah.
So by that I mean, when me and him argued, it was bad.
Right.
If we were in the same room for 5 minutes, there would be an argument every time.
Yeah.
And so but he was an alcoholic. He was a drug addict. He was a great human being when he wasn't doing any of that
right.
stuff.
When he was sober, he was fine.
He was an awesome dude, man.
But when he was doing stuff he wasn't, he was that control was not
monster.
There. Right.
He was a monster.
He was not who he's supposed to be.
Yeah, and so for years me and him argued and fought and fussed and fight. And so like my childhood with him, we were never together.
Yeah.
He was always in a boot camp because he slapped teachers in the face.
Oh, jeez.
He was something else, man, and he was broken.
Yeah.
Like the rest of us.
Right.
But what I didn't see back then that I know now is that he was broken.
Right.
And I didn't love him the way I should have,
Right.
right? Like every one of us had a choice.
Yeah.
To choose to love him or not to love him. I chose to try, but he would always throw crap in my face, and rather than me taking a step back,
right.
And it's one of the guilts that I have, one of the regrets that I have.
Yeah.
Is that, and I've never done it since, but it's instead of when somebody comes to me, like I have people at work that are not very good with computers.
Yeah.
Well, rather than beating them over the head and saying, you should know how to do this.
Right.
There was one lady that I talked to yesterday, actually, and I was telling her about all this. And I said, I thought about just letting you go, like not even helping you.
Yeah.
But I said, as the person that I am, I cannot do that.
Yeah.
I said, I had to take a step back and try to teach you.
Yeah.
And you learned.
Yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah.
Even my boss said, I don't know how you did that.
Yeah.
You're the first person to ever do that.
Yeah.
Nobody's been ever teach her. And it brought something home for me and that's where this came from.
Yeah.
The
whole conversation.
Yeah. When I sent it to you, that's where it came from.
Yeah.
Was like, I thought to myself, if I'm going to be nice to somebody, is it just enough to be nice?
Right.
I don't think it is.
Right.
Because you always have to be centered on what Christ wants.
Right.
And he wants people to be with him in heaven.
Yeah.
And so if we're going to bring people with us and see their salvation and them live out their life in a Christ-like way, giving glory to him, then we have to live that way.
Yeah.
And you can't live that way if you're always defensive. I was very defensive with my brother.
Yeah.
Rather than loving him, I was always defensive. Well, all you do is hurt me.
Yeah.
Why should I even give you the time of day?
Right.
not realizing that Jesus does that to me every day.
Right.
Gives me the things I need and gives me the forgiveness that I need
Mm-hmm.
if I repent, which I do every day.
Right.
And so I think building habits of that are good. So there's a lady that I text every morning, right?
Yep.
And I thought to myself, so I started going back to church last week.
Nice.
Me and my wife, we went back to the church we were going to, and I'm sitting in the whatever you call it, the little chair things, in the back part. We were sitting in there, and I'm sitting there, dude, tears coming to my eyes because of all the memories came back.
Yeah.
Because we'd been there for 10 years, man. There were 4 or 5 people that had died since then.
Yeah.
People that I loved. And so what I found is that if I can approach the people that are not Christians
Mm-hmm.
the way that I approach Christians,
Right.
think about how many people's lives would be changed because of that. Like at work, how many people's lives could be changed if we would approach them in a Christ-like way?
Right.
Not judgmental,
Right.
but rather in a loving way.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think we should do, and I think that's what the scriptures are talking about. We have to forgive them. We have to.
Yeah.
If somebody's done you wrong, man, you need to forgive them now, right now.
Yeah.
Because the longer you hold on to that, it's just going to hurt you.
Yeah, so along those lines of Luke 6:31, and as you wish that others would do to you, do so to them. So it's that kind of thing. Then John 15:12, this is my commandment, is that you love one another as I have loved you. So that's again that conversation of I loved you enough to send my only son to the cross.
Facts, yeah.
But here's the other thing. That love of Christ, the love of God extends beyond that. If you want to take a more, I guess you call it a macro view or whatever, or zoomed out view. So God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, da, 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 da. But not just that, but he worked to put all of this in play from the Old Testament prophecies through all the prophets and all that to the disciples, to the apostles.
Yep.
All of this was done for us, for humanity.
Think about that, man.
All of that work,
Yep.
all of that effort, all of that planning, all of that process was done so that we could have a relationship with him.
Yep.
And that is an extraordinary amount of thing. We talked about this before in one of the episodes, how small we are in the face of God. And yet, despite our smallness, he still looks at us and goes, I love you.
And I want you.
And I want you. The door's open. Let's go.
Crazy.
So you think about like,
that.
The greatness of God, we should fear it. And it's a healthy fear, not an unhealthy fear. It's a healthy fear of like God's greatness. But the return on that is that he has loved us so much that he has done everything to try and bring us closer to him. So so we talk about how we handle people and how we treat them. It's simple, but it's complex. The simple answer is treat others as Christ treats you. Christ loved you. And
love the people,
and he loves you so intensely and so much that he looks at you and says, "I love you, and I care for you." And a lot of his instruction is turn the other cheek when someone do not treat your enemy as they treat you. Like there's a lot of
love your enemies, pray for them.
Yeah, pray for pray and unceasing. So 1 Corinthians 13:4-13 is the love is kind one.
Yeah.
So love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy or boast, it is not arrogant or rude, it does not insist on its own way, it is not irritable or resentful, it does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. As for prophecies, they will pass away. As for tongues, they will cease. For knowledge, it will pass away. So love is that thing. So when it talks about love, the way Christ loves you, he is patient, he is kind.
Yeah, he is.
He's not a boastful God. It's not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way.
Mm-hmm.
It's not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, or probably a translation like failure or pain.
True.
But rejoices with the truth. It bears all things. It believes all things. It hopes all things. It endures all things. It never ends. So
Sorry.
How do you love somebody is you do everything you can to love them through Christ.
Yep.
And they may frustrate you, they may stress you out,
Yep.
but that's just that moment. Their story's not finished, and neither is yours.
Yep. Facts.
And you should never want somebody's story. You should always work to find and help someone find their story to Christ.
Mm-hmm.
And it might be through,
It's facts.
it might just be through your actions. It might be through your reputation. It might be through what are those things? Like if you're living your life for Christ every second of every day, of every moment,
Mm-hmm.
you're definitely going to, people are going to notice.
They are.
And they're going to figure out, okay, well, there's something about this guy that's a little different. And that's the power of Christ. And this is stuff that I learned in youth group back in
Yep,
the day.
it
This is
is.
stuff I've learned in my young adult groups over the years.
Yep.
It's fascinating to me that a majority of people, I should say majority, people are so focused on finding that hole, finding stuff to fill that hole in their life that's the God-sized hole we talked
Yep.
about before.
That's facts.
But they're so focused on filling it, they don't realize that maybe filling it with God and living a life of Christ will actually be a better way to live.
We'll actually feel it.
Right, they'll actually
It
fill
will.
it, and they won't be constantly trying to find the right thing, because nothing ever fits in that hole just right. And that's the thing about Christ is that it's just the right fit.
Yeah.
So dealing
Facts,
with people, people are stressful. We're stressful on our own. Like I'm sure we frustrate people in our
We're
lives.
we're stressed out enough as
Right.
we are. Yep.
We've done, and so, but if we all manage to find a way to follow Christ in this, I think we could have a lot better world. But I also think it's a call for Christians to go, you guys, we all need to get our house together.
Yeah, we do.
We need to be following the Christ. And so, but this is the problem, right? So the larger picture is obviously there are Christians who believe in the Christ and believe in Christ's message, but there are denominations aplenty out there that don't. They have, like we were talking earlier about the prosperity gospel, the word of life movement.
Falsities, man.
Well,
Farces.
so I was watching a video from Justin Peters this morning about Kenneth Copeland's wife.
Oh yeah,
And
I
she
saw
has
that.
not been seen. She was seen recently at the 2025 conference.
Yep.
And she is not well.
No,
she
she's
is
not.
dementia has taken her. But what Justin Peters was making the point of is he played clips of her over the years where she was like, healing is absolute. We're always going to be healing ourselves. I don't want to hobble out of this life. I'm going to be healed every time. I'm always going to be healed. And then you have this image of her over the years, so like 2024 and 2025, where she is not healed. She is not well. And it's such a fascinating thing because Kenneth Copeland has said, I'm going to live to be 120. God has prophesied I'm going to live to be 120.
Let's see if you live a perfect life.
So it's one of those things where it's like we talk about how do you handle people and how do you treat people as Christians. If we could all manage to pull that off, we'd be in a lot better place. But because we have all these denominations where the narcissism of what fills these congregations, well, we know the real way. It's word of life, and this is how it works. And what I think, for a small rabbit trail, I think what bothers me is that it doesn't take a lot of work to expose the word of life and the prosperity gospels for falsity. It's like, where's the Bible verse on that? Well, we take this. Well, that's not even topical. That's not even contextual.
Context is way wrong.
You've taken a verse out of a whole passage and you pass it off as healing, but that's not what that meant. That's not what the context and the context, like
what's it in the middle of? That's what I ask.
Where's the rest of the story here?
Yep.
And I think that's the part that's hard because you have so many claims of hypocrisy against the Christian church as a whole because of these bad actors who don't act like Christ and
they don't know the word either. They don't know it.
Well, and they talk about like, we've got these planes, we've got all this money, and it's like,
what the frig's a plane gonna do?
Right. Well, and I mean, to borrow the conversation we had earlier about Jesus was upsetting the tables in the temple, he would definitely be pulling like throwing some tables over in Jesse Duplantis' church, Kenneth Copeland's church.
He'd probably hit him with it.
All these guys, there would be absolute carnage in tables being turned over because Christ would be like, you're doing this in my Father's house. You're speaking this. This is untruth. This is
blasphemy.
This is blasphemy. This is heresy of the highest order. And so I think that's the struggle, right? Because people see Christians are not monolithic. We are all kinds of denominations. We're all kinds of parts and pieces.
Yep.
And so we struggle with trying to fight back, or not even fight. I wouldn't use the word fight back. We try and, counter all of that through our Christianity and our faith and our actions and our words. And so it just feels like it's always a struggle. And it's easier sometimes just to be like, I'm done. I'm done being nice. I'm done being kind. I'm done being sacrificial. I just want to be me because I'm angry. But that's the thing, is that you're giving up on God. You're giving up on God's providence. You're giving up on God's possibilities. You're giving up on God's message and command for your life, which is to love everybody. And
that's what we're supposed to do.
Yeah, you would think. So anyway, that was the video from Justin Peters this morning, and I haven't gone through the whole thing, but he's like, I'm not trying to bag on, I think her name is Gloria. He's not trying I'm not trying to bag on Gloria, but this is like the central tenets of the Word of Life movement is, healing.
Do they think they're going to escape sickness?
Well, that's what they preach through a lot of the video from Justin Peters this morning. It was a lot of, they preach, you're always going to be healed. You're always going to be healing.
Not always.
And if you're not getting healed or if you're sick, it's your fault. It's your issue. You're the problem.
It's called sin.
Yeah. So
it's a broken world, man.
Yeah. So there's a lot of messaging within the Word of Life movement. So here's what's going to be really unfortunate and heartbreaking is that when Gloria Copeland eventually does pass away, because she does not look good at all from a year ago to now, and when that happens, that's going to be a moment of how are they going to spin that? How are they going to spin what you can see with your own eyes on video of her condition? And then how do you spin the healing? Because the healing isn't happening. There was a part of that clip where Benny Hinn prayed over Gloria for like a good 5 to 10 minutes. He would spend like 15 seconds with everybody else, but when they asked him to pray for Gloria, he was with her for like 10 or 15 minutes praying during the broadcast. And Justin Peters was like, was she healed? Nope.
How did that go?
It did not happen. Because again, it's charlatan magic. It's charlatan.
You're right. It is.
Pretending to be
false.
It's false. So it doesn't work because that's not how it works. That's not how any of this works.
You can't say, Jesus, heal him. Do it now.
Right. Because he's not a Pez dispenser. He's a God who moves when he wants to move. And when the movement is right, then absolutely God will move. But you have to have discernment. You have to have people who check it out. You have to
Holy Spirit.
There's a whole thing about like making sure like if you want to claim that, you got to have the evidence. You got to prove it. You got to do the checking and everything else. So I don't know how much life Kenneth Copeland has in him, but he seems to be spry and doing well. But here's the thing. It's like if you make a claim that you're going to live to be 120 and then you don't, well, then you have the hypocrisy claims that are going to be even worse than they were before. It's like live your life to Christ, not for yourself.
That's what I desire for these people, man.
Yeah.
Like I want them to come to repentance.
Yeah.
Because if they don't,
right,
hell is their home, bro.
Well, and they're going to lead these people astray.
They are.
And it's like you've led thousands and thousands and upwards of 1 million people over the years, probably more. And so when I guess that's the question for maybe the next episode is how do you deal with people who are teaching falsely, who are preaching falsely?
That's our next one.
how do you help them see the error of their ways? Aside from like throwing an actual NIV Bible at them repeatedly and say, "Get yourself together." That's not how that works. Don't do that. To be clear,
no, don't.
We're not encouraging that by any stretch of the imagination.
It would be funny, but no.
Funny until you get charged with assault and end up in jail.
Yeah, then it's not funny.
You're not going to get broken out like Paul and Silas in jail. You won't. There won't be an earthquake to get you free.
Earthquakes. No,
you'll have to pay your own bail and stand for your own trial. That's not how we are not living that first century church life right now.
No, we are not.
That's not how that works. All right. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's it.
Okay.
That was a good one. I liked it.
There we go. All right. Well, next time we'll tackle how do you handle false preachers? How do you handle people who have come to believe something about Christ that is absolutely not?
And how did that happen?
Right. How did they get themselves into that place?
That's a good one. That's a good one.
All right. Well, until next time, my name is Aaron.
My name is Chris.
And this has been the Mad Monks Podcast. We'll see you on the next one.